Good morning, pregame crew. It is Thursday, October 12th, 2023, 6:20 a.m. Mountain Time, 8:20 a.m. Eastern. Good morning and welcome to CPI Day. We will be getting the CPI data in 9 minutes and 40 seconds. I'm jumping on early to get you ready for CPI. We had a bullish overnight. We're green again. Bears are hurting for certain. Thank you, Rob. Good morning, Andre, Night Truck, Ian, Hector. Hey, Tom, Greg, Marvin, Fernando, Clifton. Hey, Topher, Joka, Donald, Geo Guitar. Hey, Nugget, Sam, Ray, JG, Mary, Scotty, SpongeBob, Cliff. Good morning. Hit that like button, please. Or I'll just keep going and I'll try to give you something to make you hit the like button. How about that? Let's go back up to the top. Are there any chart requests? CAMT. Daily inside bar, daily downtrend. There was some big volume back there. I don't know if that was news related. Volume's okay on this one. Weekly uptrend. I don't see a clear setup on this one. Maybe look for hourly overbought to top fish, daily lower high. We got it here, but that didn't set the lower high. Yes, it did. Here it set the lower high. I don't see a clear setup on this one. Sorry, success. Nary, I did not take a trade. A lot of y'all got up in arms about Nary. Y'all, I just give y'all setups, and when I shut down the microphone, new information hits the market. This was a beautiful equilibrium with a squeeze, and it fired to the short side. I did not take a trade on it. It started selling it open and had a crazy stair step. I'm not going to take trades just because I'm eyeing a setup doesn't mean I take all of them. If they don't set up, they don't set up. This one showed no bullishness all day yesterday. It gave you zero reason to get long. You have to have an edge, and the edge sets up within price action, and price action never said, hey, get in. I'm ready to take off. It never said that to you yesterday. Look at it. 5-minute, 8 EMA overhead all day yesterday with the exception of about 15 minutes right there. Joka, I am becoming a fan of trend lines again. So in general, I don't depend on trend lines alone, but I'm definitely using them a lot more. You think CPI will end in rejection? Yeah, NVAX is a piece of... NVAX still, I checked this morning. Not that. I'm so used to hitting that. The short interest is still 51%. I still have interest in NVAX. NVAX double top right here at 815, 813. Couldn't get over it. It rejected, and then bears sold into it. Bears love to hate on this name. They needed to get over 815 to put all of these bears underwater, and they were unable to do it, and they rejected. Huge upper wick on yesterday's candle of profit taking right there. And we see this end in tiers a lot with NVAX. Look at these upper wicks, upper wick, upper wick, upper wick, upper wick, upper wick, upper wick. And it is good to know the personality of a stock so it doesn't surprise you. Yesterday, I was trading NVAX. I traded. I bought the dip here. Let me turn on VWAP. I know it's confusing for some of y'all how I trade, but I turn on VWAP when I'm day trading, and I don't use it for a long-term analysis, but I use it for day trading, and I bought right in here at like 783, and I sold like at 790. I was doing some flips on it here, but it just gave it all back. Bears love to hate on this name. It's going to have its day in the sun one day. It will. That weekly high compression squeeze, it will have its day in the sun. It's just, when is it going to be? I have no idea. We're still inside last week's range. J&J. Spring like autumn and Tuscany. Oh, sounds lovely. Turn this VWAP off before I go cross-eyed. Sitting on the weekly 200 MA, daily downtrend. Monthly, we're looking for a higher low. 152.05 is your next support. Weekly downtrend, daily downtrend. Bears have just been having fun with this name. Man, the Ozempic drug and the semaglutides or whatever, the Wegovy and Ozempic and Mounjaro, they had studies come out yesterday that they slowed chronic kidney disease, and that's where I worked. I worked in nephrology before I became a trader, and these names got whacked yesterday. But actually, if you prolong chronic kidney disease, that just means they're going to live longer and they're going to end up needing more dialysis. So really, this didn't make any sense that they all got beat up like that. Sorry, my mouse cord disconnects sometimes. So Fresenius, FMS got killed by 17% yesterday. They really got whacked on that data, and I think it's an overreaction. Because if you understand dialysis and what chronic kidney disease is, these patients just end up living longer and you get more dialysis treatments. So back to J&J, it doesn't look that great. UPST. Monthly, you're looking for a higher low. Weekly downtrend. Daily, you finally got a higher high. You're looking for a higher low. We have data in 3 minutes. I would say look for a top fish at 30.40. It looks like we have a double top there. Otherwise, I don't have a trade set up right here, right now. Jim, I just went over Nary. Nary fell apart yesterday. The trade did not set up. And I know a lot of y'all traded it. And I don't know how many more disclaimers I can give that I give setups. This was a beautiful setup. And a squeeze is a directionless indicator. I just used the preceding trend, which was up, which is why I was looking up. And obviously that didn't happen. It had some type of news yesterday. Actually, it was medical. So it was the Ozempic. Ozempic hit all that study news. It hit Stryker. It was down 5%. Cardinal Health was down. Actually, it recovered pretty well. A lot of the medical device companies were down. Baxter down 12%. So Nary just got hit on the Ozempic study news. Basically, they're saying Ozempic is helping so many people. A lot of these medical devices and medical needs won't be needed. Well, I didn't know that news yesterday morning. So there you go. All right, let's go back to ES. Hey, Bennett, good morning. Okay, ES, we're green overnight. Your next resistance is up at 4447 and 4508. 4447. The last CPI, we had a $24 5-minute candle where ES popped up and dropped $24. So we're expecting volatility here. Your last support, 4418, then 4400 and 4377. We are extended on the 4-hour time frame. And daily still has room. The daily 50 MA is overhead at 445975. And that may be a target for bulls. So we're going to get that data in 45 seconds. And core CPI, they're expecting 0.3%. Consumer Price Index measures the changes in the prices of goods and services. We want this number to be lower than 0.3. We want it lower. Year over year, 4.1. So this data will come out in 20 seconds. And as soon as we get a high and a low, we're going to mark it off. If you said, Lori, you have to guess which direction it's going to go, I would say down because of where RSI is on the 4-hour and hourly. But this would be news related, so RSI is not as important. So I would be looking down if I had to, but I don't have to because I don't have to trade binary events. All right, drum roll, please. And there they are. Jobless claims were in line. Come on, 0.3, big flush. Dollar is bouncing. Dollar is at a support line, which is also why I would say was choosing that the market would go down here, because the dollar found daily support here. And what I'm looking for overall is a head and shoulders here. And then on IWM, I'm looking for an inverse head and shoulders. That's what I'm looking for. So that would mean a pullback from here. That's why I was looking in that direction. And I'm looking for healthy pullbacks. So many charts have room for daily higher lows now. The pushes have been so nice. So $4.1 in line. Year over year was a little bit higher here. And month over month was a little bit higher. So that's being viewed as bearish. We want the prices to be slowing, so the Fed rate interventions should be working, and they're not. Obviously, inflation is awful. All right, overall, our table doesn't mean a lot on days like today because we have a fundamental event and it blows up a lot of the setups. So I still have lots of good stuff for you today, so hang on. Let me introduce myself. My name is Lori, pronounced with a Ori. If you want to give me a follow on Twitter at CharkGalLori, that would be lovely. And that's who I am. I'm part of the Chart Guys community, and we teach technical analysis. It's our goal to teach you how to fish, not to just hand out fish. We do put out trades there, but overall, our goal is to teach you technical analysis. And can technical analysis be profitable? Absolutely. I love this study. I keep this up on my desktop at all times. I always have this tab pulled up on my upper screen. Can day trading really be profitable? Yes. And so they did a study on an opening range breakout strategy, and the orb was based on 5 minutes, not 15 minutes. The first 5 minutes of QQQ in the day. And let me show you what that looks like. And I'll get to the show in just a second. I just want to throw in a little education. So there's an opening range breakout indicators, a ton of them on TradingView. And if you have been deploying the opening range breakout, look at these 3 days. These were trend days up, and they would have been beautiful trades for you. And basically, it looks at the first 5 minutes of the day, and if you break bull out of that or bear, you take the long or the short, and you stay in it until your gains are 10 times the risk. So the risk is 1% here. You put your stop below low of day. Let's say this is $1 risk. And basically they take it off once they reach 10 times the return, and they use TQQQ for longs and SQQQ for shorts. And they take it off when it hits 10 times risk or end of day, whichever comes first. And the stop loss, in this case, below low of day, if you were taking a short, you'd put it above the high of day, like here. So I love this study. I will put this in the chat. That did not work. It's too long. Let me back up. Here, this will work. There you go. Okay, so it's now in the YouTube chat right here. I'm going to pin this. Well, I'm going to try to pin it. I don't want to like my own thing. I guess it's okay. Okay, I've pinned it to the channel. So basically this study, they started with a $25,000 account, and they did it for 6 years, I believe, so they could cover bull and bear markets. And I'll show you the end result here. They ended up with $200,000 on a $25,000 account. Had they bought and held QQQ, the gains were not even comparable. So Opening range breakout QQQ versus a buy and hold QQQ. Day trading can be profitable. You can use a very, very simplistic edge, very simplistic, like opening range breakout, and you can get consistent results. And I'm using words like consistent because that is key. You have to know your edge and you have to consistently apply your edge. A lot of y'all, and I know, why do I know? Because I'm like a lot of y'all, and I've done the same thing where you wake up and like, today is pitchfork analysis, and then tomorrow is Ichimoku, and then the next day I'm using strat. Stick with one edge and consistently apply your edge to the trading tool that you're using, and even use one tool, just QQQ. That's all you need. All right. So I don't know who needed to hear that today, but there you go. Okay, we're still pulling back on ES. It is still my contention that we are in back burner mode. So this changes things fundamentally. It was a lot worse than what they expected, but I would still stay in back burner mode because our structure isn't broken. Is there anything wrong with this chart? Absolutely nothing. Not one thing wrong with that chart. Anything wrong with that chart? Nope. That one, maybe daily lower high anticipated. And YM, daily, we broke the daily resistance by $20. I would still call that a double top. RTY gave a small heads up that we could be getting this bearish reaction. They were unable to get over yesterday's high. Here, 1802.70. Overnight, they were unable to clear it, and they created an hourly diamond bearish reversal candle. So, actually looks better on 4 hour. Do you see it? I'm going to get rid of all the lines so you can see it. That was a small heads up, and Bitcoin has been giving us a heads up that not all is well underneath the hood. Hourly EMAs continue to be strong resistance. We're sitting here on the daily 50 EMA on Bitcoin. We lost the daily support, and Ethereum is barely holding on to 1530. We hit 1534 overnight. 1530 is the last line of defense for Ethereum. So Bitcoin and Ethereum have been pretty weak all week, even though the market has been strong. Okay, the dollar is still getting its groove on, and the market's still coming back hard. I think the dollar has to sit down in order for the market to bounce. And bulls have been waiting for this once we held that daily support. Okay. Sorry, I had to go check on a trade. I shorted gold against 1900. All right. Lost my chat. All right. So now when we look at the high and the low of the reaction, let's mark them off. I'm going to mark them off in red. And we still haven't even found the low of the reaction. Once we establish a low, I'm going to mark it off, and that becomes the level for the day. If we continue on to make lower lows, that just shows the significance of this bearish reaction. And we are now 15-minute oversold. We're not oversold or even close on the hourly chart. So I would assume we could get some type of bounce here on the 15-minute oversold back burner. We have a 1-minute stair step or 2-minute stair step you could use if you wanted to take a trade long. I'm not taking it. All right, NASDAQ. NASDAQ 15-minute is just getting oversold. NASDAQ has been stronger than ES. We haven't built a ton of structure on the way up as fast as we went up, so caution. Let's see, they're getting a bounce right here from 15-minute oversold. Back burner. RTY would be my instrument to short if I was looking short. You have clear resistance here at 1802. You have this 4-hour diamond bearish reversal pattern, and you're looking for a daily lower high. So I would be shorting IWM today. If you're looking for an ETF to short, I would stick with that one. Dow, we just lost the hourly support. 15-minute is not oversold. Okay. I don't mean to lose my chat every 5 seconds, but hey. Yep, NVO is the parent company and LLY. Mark Antonio, I'm assuming you're asking about the results of the day trading study, and I put that right here, and it's pinned at the top of the YouTube chat. And if you're talking about the Ozempic study, you can look that up. It helped chronic kidney disease. Okay. VIX is probably finally picking up a little bit. Yeah, VIX is getting a little pep in its step. It's been melting down from, you guessed it, weekly resistance and weekly 50 MA. Y'all look at that. This will be the third week it closes below that. If we stay below, let's say, $17, below $17, keeps it below this resistance line. All right, Hang Seng was green overnight, up big, 1.93%. That's a large move. DAX is green. Let's see if they're staying green. They didn't have a major move down from CPI. And Bitcoin I already covered. It is weak. Weak sauce. Let me say one more thing about ES. Y'all see the hourly 50 MA, my Great Wall of Louisiana here, how it held? I'm interested to see how it behaves over here when it reaches the hourly 50 MA. When we break through that MA, that shows that we have more meaningful consolidation coming in. All right, I'm done with all indices. Now, dollar, I showed y'all it held daily support. We just got a 4-hour higher high. Bulls mean business. This is a bearish development for the market, this dollar strength. Gold, I shared with you, I shorted 1900. We hit 1898. So let me show you this resistance here. 1897, 1896, 1895. So I shorted against 1900 this morning. And we got an hourly lower low. 4-hour is still in an uptrend. It's still healthy right now. But I think you could get in on this trade if you wanted to. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. On a bounce, I think it still has room to short. There's still meat left on the bone here on a bounce. Let's say to 1892 area, you could look for a potential top fish on gold. Oil, we lost the daily 50 MA yesterday and we filled that gap. We talked about that gap yesterday morning. Did any of y'all get that yesterday? I said I was bearish oil and we finally got that gap fill and we finally got that down move on XLE that I was waiting for. Drove me bananas. So oil, we're still looking for a daily lower high on the next bounce. 4-hour lower high is the more likely scenario. So bears are getting interested on oil over here. I would say closer to 85.50. We're looking for that 4-hour lower high. Nat gas had a beautiful hourly oversold bounce yesterday after the bull move. It got oversold right here and had a beautiful bounce. Yesterday's candle's ugly. So we have nat gas inventory at the regular time today, 10:30, and we have oil inventory at 11 a.m. It got moved from yesterday to today based on the bank holiday. You know, some days you just can't get enough sleep, and last night was one of those nights. Oh, Riot. Max, since, you know what? I had a green trade on Riot, but I was so frustrated when I looked at it. Because we were looking at it here. And I just didn't like the way Bitcoin was acting over here. And I got stopped out at 10:20. It went up to 10:59. And then I was one day too early on Riot. And I was one day too early on XLE. Yesterday, that was the day on XLE. So yeah, you can have some good calls, but you got to get the timing right as well. Okay, the market is bouncing from that 15-minute oversold like we thought it would. Okay, we did nat gas. I don't see any other setups right now in commodities. I'm always scouring commodities for setups, and I haven't seen any this morning, but I'm going to go back and comb through them again. Apple. So I told y'all you could use the orb opening range breakout strategy as your strategy every day and for a simplistic edge, and you can make money doing it. Same thing for gap rules. So Apple right now is gapping up. If bulls are able to defend that 179.85 high of yesterday and turn it, that is a long signal. If bears are able to penetrate yesterday's price range and stay inside and unable to climb over yesterday's high, that is a bearish signal. So gap rules apply on Apple. Isn't timing everything? XOM got a upgrade. Good to know. They're buying PXD, so they suffered yesterday, but people bought XOM as if it held support. I'm going to go back to Amazon. Here on the daily, it broke this support 105.11 by 38 cents, but they bought it as if it was a double bottom yesterday. So that's just good to know on XOM. I'm not shorting oil today or XLE. It's not on my radar. Amazon. Well, I said 85.50 could be a good area to short oil. I'm currently shorting gold, and I'm going to stay with that trade for a while. Gold is bouncing. All right. Amazon, we're gapping above yesterday's high. Okay, so gap rules apply. If bulls are able to hold yesterday's high as support and turn it, that's a long signal. If bears are able to penetrate yesterday's range, that is a bearish signal. We are inside the gap now. Let's see, the gap is over 132.24 right here. And the gap fills at 135.29. I'm not saying all gaps get filled, but they can act as magnets. Amazon is having a bullish morning, a bullish day, just bullish, bullish, bullish. I would look back burner on Amazon, Google, and Meta. Those are all three back burner names to me. Nvidia, you could also look at this one for back burner. We're gapping up on it as well. So gap rules apply. If we lose yesterday's high, 468.59, and bears are able to penetrate yesterday's range and maintain the high as resistance, that is a short signal. We are looking for a weekly lower high on Nvidia, but right now it's gapping up. So hands off for me, bearish, unless the bears are able to fill that gap. Tesla is weak. Tesla should be on your short list of shorts, potential shorts. Tesla is weak. It was unable to break prior day's high yesterday, and then down she went. And right now it's opening closer to the low of yesterday than the high of day when we have many other names that are gapping up. Tesla is weak. I would look to short Tesla. Google is no longer gapping up. It was the leader yesterday. It's no longer gapping up. So we'll see if this high, yesterday's high, 141.11 remains resistant. This could be a short signal, but I'm not going to be looking short on Google. I'd rather go long on a 5-minute back burner during regular trading hours. JPM, we're not getting over yesterday's high right now. I didn't move my horizontal lines. And I know there are indicators that do this for you, but I personally like doing it because when I type something, it stays in my brain, my memory. I can keep it. So that's why I like to type it out. So JPM, I'm still looking for another short on this one. Daily 50 MA is still overhead, looking for a daily lower high compared to 147.78. So I'm going to short against yesterday's high. Over yesterday's high, no cigar, no trade. Meta has been super bullish. We're gapping up. Gap rules apply. I would look for this one for a back burner. Nike, I would look to short Nike. We have a clear resistance here at 99.47, and we have the 50 MA. Let's see if it can let me. Gotta turn my magnet off. Somewhere in that area it's actually at 99.49, but somewhere there is the 50 MA. So I'm looking for a top fish setup on Nike for daily low or high. Rivian, daily low or high. It had the big dilution yesterday. Looking for a top fish setup. 1955 is resistance, $20, and then 2019. So I like a Rivian short on a bounce. And XLF is the same as JPM. As far as looking for a daily low or high, it doesn't have the daily 50 MA overhead. It has the daily 200 MA. So I like a top fish setup against yesterday's high, 33.53. And if we're able to break that high, then I'd be looking again for a short at 33.69. So let's go over it again. For longs, I like Meta and Google back burner, Amazon back burner, and Meta. Did I say Meta? Yeah. Shorts, I like JPM, Nike, Rivian, XLF, and Tesla. All right. So I just kind of divide up my list and say, okay, which ones have relative strength? Which ones have relative weakness? And I kind of make a list. I say, okay, what's my bullish setups and what are my bearish setups? And depending on what the market does is what list I go to. If the market right now, we're bouncing from 15-minute oversold pretty well. So if we continue this bounce, then I would look long. If we start giving back some of this bounce, I would be looking for my list of shorts. Y'all hit that like button. Coin held up better yesterday than Mara and Riot. I always tell y'all I have a bear bias against Coinbase because their fees are so ridiculous and their technology is not that great. So I have a bear bias. I'm aware of it. That's why I rarely have it on the Queen of the Mountain list anymore, because I am aware that I just short this name. I love shorting this name. So, and that's what I'd probably look to do here. We are looking for a daily high or low. We're struggling here at the daily 50 MA. Weekly downtrend, daily uptrend, 4-hour downtrend. Yeah, I'm not going to give an opinion because I don't like this name at all. Okay. I don't see a daily inverse head and shoulders on coin. All right. I hope y'all have a wonderful trading day. TCG members, I'll have my notes over to you in just a second. I didn't even reflect to my notes at all today. Did I say everything I needed to say? Yes. All right. I will have these notes over to you in a second. Y'all use stop losses.